Everything we've covered this first chapter since the beginning of September till now to get ready for your guys' test. So I just want to make sure we were good with these kinds of questions. So I'll take a look at 2 of them. I'll take a look at 1 and 3 because 1 and 2 are basically the same except they're exactly the opposite, which is similar. So we've got someone making a casserole. The recipe called for this much rice. So if the recipe calls for this, this is how much is needed. I'm just trying to break this question down here a little bit. You need this much rice because that's what the recipe demands, and you've put in this much rice. Now, when I gave you this same kind of question a couple days ago, I would say something like this. You had the recipe needs 5 cups of rice. You put in 3 cups of rice. How many more do you need? And Liam said, well, I just need 2 more because 3 plus 2 is 5, and that's great. But as soon as I make the number of these kinds of fractions, it becomes a lot more challenging for you to use that method. If I say you need 4 and 5/8 cups of rice, and you put in 3 and 7/8, that becomes a lot harder to just add in your head. And so you need a proper method to approach this every time with some consistency. If I change this, and I'll write it in here. If I had made this 5 and 3, 5 cups is needed, 3 cups are in. Yeah, you could tell me that 3 plus 2 is 5, and there you go. Or how else could you think about this? Yeah, Dakota, I could subtract these. I say, well, I need 5. I take away the 3 that I already added. So I need 5 minus 3 is 2. This is the procedure, the best method for approaching something like this because it gives you a method for every other kind of question like this, regardless of how gross these numbers look. So then this becomes the question, well, if I put in this and I actually if I need this and I put in this, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to subtract what I've put in from what I need to put in. And then it becomes this, 4 and 5/8 minus 3 and 7/8. This is the problem with relying on your educated guesses or your intuitive wisdom, because the intuitive wisdom struggles with fractions in your head. But now when you lay this out, this is the kind of stuff that we've been doing for a good long time. How do I subtract fractions? They have a common denominator, which is nice. I would need a common denominator. What else do I have to do when I'm dealing with fractions? Yeah, Dakota? You betcha. Mixed to improper. Because the common denominator already exists, I just have to do the second one. So to make them improper, I multiply the denominator by the whole number and add that to the numerator. So 8 times 4 is 32 plus 5 is 37. And the denominator stays the same. 8 times 3 is 24 plus 7 is 31. So how much rice do I need? Or Sumali, how much rice does Sumali need? 6/8, which is how much? Because the last step with fractions is to always, yes, simplify or reduce. Both of these, yes, Sahil. Both of these are divisible by 2, that's 3/4. Good. Love it. So relying on your intuition has limits. When I make the numbers hard to work with, your intuition is going to crumble. You need a method that will always work. Question 2 is very similar, so I'll leave that. If you haven't done it yet, I'll let you play with it. I do want to talk about question 3 before I hand out the reviews. You've got a colony of ants that carries away 20 of your muffins. If each ant can carry 5/6 of a muffin, how many ants showed up to carry away your muffins? I know, this doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's do it this way. It's not 10. You need to look that. We need to not rely on your intuition. Let's do it this way. Let's say I have about 20 muffins, and if each ant can carry 2 muffins, I got 20 muffins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And each ant can carry 2 of them. How many ants do I need to show up to steal all the muffins? No. It's not 8. No. Take a look at this. This ant, there's 2 carried by 1 ant. 2 more carried by another ant. 2 more carried by another ant. 2 more carried by another ant. And on. And on. No. How many ants? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, you were right. Only after I changed the question. No, because but it's not right. I changed the question. I changed the question to say 20 of your muffins, each ant carries 2 to do this. This particular kind of question has a mathematical method. I want to know, basically what I'm being asked to find is, how many groups of 2 can I break 20 up into? What mathematical operator is designed to break something into groups? Jordan.
20?
No, there's 20 muffins. Dakota. It's division.
10.
Division makes groups. So the other way I could have done this, instead of drawing it out like this, I could have said, okay, well, what's 20 divided by 2? Well, of course, that's going to be 10.
That's what I was going to say.
But now I've changed the question. It's not 20 muffins each, it's 5/6 of a muffin. Each ant can't quite carry a whole muffin. The procedure is the same. I'm going to take my 20 and I'm going to divide it by how much muffin each ant can carry to tell me how many ants I need total. Now I've got an idea how to approach this. I can actually go ahead and do this. How do you divide by a fraction? You do not need a common denominator for multiplying and dividing. I'm going to do what Dakota just said and what Sahil just said. Dakota says, I want to make this 20 over 1, and then I'm going to keep, change, flip. 20 over 1 stays 20 over 1. Whole numbers always go over 1. The division changes to multiplication, and I flip the fraction, 6 over 5. I can make, let's just go for it. 20 times 6 is, or 2 times 6 is? 12. So 20 times 6 is 120, I heard someone say. Over 5, and then I can reduce this. I can divide by 5, divide by 5. You will get a calculator for that, but you can also do it on your multiplication tables. This is 24 over 1, which is 24 ants. You've got a method for this. You just need to be able to decipher what happens here. So I will leave that there for you. I am going to... Are there any questions about what I've just done? Okay. If you had a chance to look at it yesterday, there you go. Those are 2 of the 3. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, you've now got an idea of how to proceed. I am going to hand out these, and then I've got to take some students down to the library. I said at the top, I want you to do the circled questions. So there's a lot more here than I require you to get done. If you finish the circled questions and want to continue practicing, by all means, continue. But the bare minimum that you need to complete before you write your test for me, Liam and Hassan, stop trying to distract Denny. Liam, you're being an enabler. Hassan, pay attention to me. Don't talk to Denny. The bare minimum of the questions in here that I've circled. You can use your notebooklet. Ungod's around, Miss S around, I'm around to help you. You can work together on this, but at the end of it all, each of you should be able to do this stuff on your own. You can use a calculator, but you need to be showing me your work. Okay, that's all I got for you. I'll hand these out, and then it is for you to play with. On your mark, get set, go.